Welcome again to episode 12 of season 3 of Vegas. I'm here with our intuitive clinical hypnotherapist, Tammie Roitman, our master astrologer, Kris Gray, and me. I do intuitive tarot. And we're here to answer a specific question for our guests. Now, how do you be a guest on 3? You go to www.3.Vegas. So that's THREE.Vegas. And then you go to how to be on 3.Vegas page. And then you fill out the form. And then we schedule you for the next recording of our program because we'd love to have you be our guest. I'd like to thank John Stiles for helping us create this program here on WWDBTV. And if you can follow WWDBTV on Instagram, right? Also follow 3.Vegas on Instagram. You can follow T. Roitman on Instagram, and you can follow the Astro Cowgirl on Instagram. And me, Lona Van Joseph, on Instagram.
Am I
so
on
you'll
Instagram?
I think you are.
Oh, I don't know.
All right. Well,
I'm on.
I hope you're on Instagram because I just advertised you. You also can follow 3.Vegas on Instagram. And I'm telling you, that's how you're going to find out any new information about the programs when a new program drops. And I'm going to tell you, we've got a very, very special guest coming to us here in just a minute. And we'll be right back with Pat.
The Showgirl Legacy Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to preserving the historic significance of the iconic showgirl as a performing artist. We achieve this through curriculum-based educational programs in partnership with the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts. The program includes a panel of entertainers and showgirls modeling authentic costumes for the visual arts students to paint. The students submit their artwork to the Showgirl Art Competition that becomes the annual Showgirl Art and Costume Exhibit. The foundation also represents guest speakers that give historical presentations about the Las Vegas stage show spectaculars and their personal experiences. The speaker brings authentic show costumes for photo ops and tailors their presentations for conferences, conventions, luncheons, museums, and other venues. Recently added to the Foundation's repertoire is the talk show, The Showgirl Connection, with your host, Luann. She interviews former and current showgirls, dancers, entertainers, and all the people behind the scenes that make the magic happen. The Showgirl Connection wouldn't be possible without the partnership and support of WWDBTV and owner John Stiles. Learn more about us at showgirllegacy.org and castandcrewreunion.com. For questions, email us at info@showgirllegacy.org.
And welcome back. I'm here with our fabulous intuitives so we can answer a question for Pat. Pat, welcome to the program.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to see you in person. Okay, so the way the program works is you're going to ask your specific question, and then after you ask the question, you're going to choose one of us to answer the question first, and then after she answers the question, then you choose who answers the question second, and then by default, whoever's left over answers your question third. So tell us, what's your question today?
Okay, it's sort of broad, but it isn't. I basically have had a really difficult life, and I'm 71, and worked continually in my adult phase to heal. And I've made a turn, and I am looking forward to everything being better. Relationships, spirituality. I think I'm going to let you pick something, but I've been single for 41 years. I want to live in a better place. Thinking about manifesting. Spirituality is very important to me, and learning more and more about angels and God and all that's very important. So it's broad. If you just want to pick whatever comes.
Maybe we're going into the most important thing you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So who would you like to have address this first?
Tammie? I'll go left to right. Yeah. Tammie.
What's coming to me is that you have to remember that you have chosen these experiences for yourself, and that you have taken life a little bit more serious than it was ever intended to be. And that these experiences were necessary to show you who and what you weren't, so that you could remember who and what you are. And what holds you back is your own self, because you have forgotten to believe and know that it's true, even though you have a lot of concepts and a lot of inner wisdom in terms of the reality or the truth in the way kind of life is. You don't trust it, and you don't trust yourself. So you'll second guess it a lot of the times. And because you continue to second guess it, you continue to create these experiences to wake yourself up to say, remember, you are not that. Remember, you can heal if you just remember that you can. And the reason why you haven't been in a relationship for that long is because one of your objectives in remembering who and what you were coming into this experience was to learn how to be very confident in yourself without going outside of yourself. Like I think you have a tendency to do, thinking that anybody else has an answer for you that you already have. And you'll second guess yourself on what someone else is telling you, even though that may not be the truth, because you're more wise than the people you're going outside of yourself to get information from. They're just going by information that they're hearing from some other person, or reading in some book that is not necessarily the truth in terms of our existence on this planet and what we're really here to do, which is experience and have fun. And you have forgotten that you are supposed to be having fun, and you've made it unfun for yourself. And so one of the things I think to consider is to think back again of what you liked to do when you were a child, when you knew you were free and you knew that life was your creation and you were going to create it any way that you chose. And it was fun just to have it flow through you. You've gotten to the point where you've kind of limited your own internal flow of the information. And it's now time for you to really wake up and go back to who you solidly know, who and what you are. And with that, I'm going to recommend a book that I recommended on another show, because you are ready for it, and it's going to open your eyes, and it's going to flip your life around in ways you couldn't even imagine right at this point. And it's called Conversations with God, and it's written by Neil Donald Welsh. And if you've heard of the book, I don't know if you've read the book, but it's time now.
Okay. Okay. You've kind of left me wordless, and you said something that's the most simplest, which is getting back to, I can't remember, but that affected me strongly. I do need to say, as far as my happiness as a child, I probably lost it at 3 or 4. So when I go back and think about myself, say I'm in therapy and I'm trying to retrieve myself, all I can say is, I know I came in with God. I know I came in with wisdom, and then it was gone. But that was really only for the first few years of my life.
You have forgotten you and God are one, and you already have the wisdom. And even though you moved away from seeing moment to moment, that's why you are unable to identify really happy and free moments throughout your childhood, because there were ones that were more difficult that you kind of held on to, almost like this was how I was going to create myself.
Okay.
And so you drug it with you. And in that, you haven't stopped to see, I've had a lot of amazing moments in life. And I've been given a lot of amazing gifts and a lot of amazing experiences. And these experiences are, in fact, going to play out in a way I don't think you can see right now, and a way that I'm not going to tell you because I've just been told not to.
Okay.
Okay. But the most important thing is, we and God are one. And
Yeah.
therefore, anything we think God can do, so can we.
Thank you. Thank you. It's beautiful.
Thank you for being in service to you today.
Okay. All right, Pat, who would you like to have address this very small issue of yours next.
It is. It's tiny. It's as tiny as a speck of sand on a beach. I promise you that. Doesn't
Okay.
feel like that, but
Thank
that's as tiny as it is.
Thank you. Kris, please. I'm just going to go left
Okay.
to
A
my
lot of
left.
people do left to right, so you're not doing anything. No, nobody that you choose is a bad person. So I'm just saying.
I'm definitely not a bad person. Hi, Pat. Have you ever had your chart read before?
You know what? Do you know Robert Hand,
Yes.
the
Sounds
astrologer?
Yes.
Well, I got sent away to a school for girls who had potential but got in trouble. This
Oh
school,
no.
this school, the teachers would close down and take us to Boston to protest, or they'd come to class high, or they wouldn't come at all. And Robert Hand was a teacher there, and he was just beginning his astrology, and he would do charts for us, his students. He did mine. He said I had the most afflicted chart he'd ever seen, and I never got it from him. And I'm so frustrated. I'm still frustrated to this day that I never got it. What
So
do you mean?
I think I can see very clearly why he said that. But you have a lot of beautiful placements in your chart.
Yeah.
But there is a couple placements that they're difficult. They're not bad. I don't call them bad because they're karmic. You're meant to experience that, but work through it.
Right.
So with that, so you're a Cancer sun sign, but a Libra rising. Did you know you're a Libra rising?
Yes.
Okay, so Libra risings, Libra, the sign of Libra has been getting hit pretty hard the last few years, a lot with transformations as it relates to themselves, their identity, the path they want to take, living in their authenticness, but also as it relates to relationships. And so, before I go really into that, because you have a lot of really big things happening for you, especially this month. This month kicks off just a brand new chapter for you. But I want to go back to what Robert Hand said. So in your chart, you have what is called the early riser. And it's a placement that it's challenging. It's not a bad placement, but it's very challenging. And it requires the person with this placement to really work through this. I'm going to call it karmic debt because it's a very karmic placement. And what it is, it talks about from early childhood. You've had a lot of responsibility for other people, for situations. You've had to rise up early in life. So probably very mature at a very young age, take on responsibility that was probably not age appropriate. And so it's difficult because it's challenging because it's almost kind of feels like shackles or a weight have always kind of been at your feet, where it's like it kind of feels like you've kind of been put behind where other people get to live more free and you've felt more restricted and confined and oppressed. So
Absolutely.
I actually really like this aspect, this placement, even though it is challenging. When you work through it, it can actually be very, very freeing, excuse me. And then the other side to this placement, the positive manifestation of it is that you are very dutiful, very responsible, very structured. You tend to be a rock for a lot of people. And so then you end up having a lot of people that love you. But it's the character of grit. Like you've been through stuff that makes you just tough as nails. And so you're that rock for a lot of people. But it was a long journey to get there. And the other placement that you have that I find very interesting, you have the placement of what would be like the gift of a medium. So I ask you, have you ever had like dreams or any visits from the other side? Things of those, like those kind of experiences.
I've had 3 major premonitions. One example of the space shuttle. And I would really like to have more of that in my life. I remember as a child, when I didn't understand someone, I take myself out of my body and put it in that person. All of a sudden, oh, I get it. That stopped at some point. I really would love to have some ability, some skill, something.
So I ask you that because, okay, so you have this gift of the natural intuitive. And in fact, as soon as I saw you, I was picking up highly intuitive vibes, like mediumship vibes, a lot of premonitions that come through dreams, lucid dreaming, things, those kind of gifts. The challenge for you, though, is this challenging aspect with the karmic debt is placed right on top of that. So that's probably the confliction that Robert Hand was speaking of, because it's heavy. But when you, so the key to kind of getting past that is acknowledging, accepting, and living in the truth that it's not your responsibility to care for others. If it's not, it's not your duty. It's not your responsibility. A lot of times with this placement, we tend to put a lot of responsibility on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we look back and sometimes we get the insight of, why did I do that to myself? That wasn't my responsibility. And it's usually other people's failings. And instead of letting them fail, we kind of come in and save them. And so it's taking back the it's not my responsibility. It's not my duty to save them or to care for them or be their savior. So that's kind of the key to kind of unlocking that, because otherwise it can be like shackles on our wrists, or weights on our ankles that weigh us down. You have another placement in your chart too. This is having a lot of luck and a lot of luck in foreign countries, but it also rules being very open-minded to faith, spirituality, different. It could be kind of like your faith is, or your beliefs are kind of a melting pot of like several different like religions. So not necessarily like focus on just one religion. It's more like spirituality. And so you're coming into this period like here very, very soon, like within the next month, where you're going to start having some very interesting experiences as they relate to spirituality. So maybe it starts by you seeing 1111 or 111 repeating numbers, like angel numbers. You start seeing that. And whenever you see these angel numbers repeating, I want you to think about what you were thinking about at that moment, because it's insight, because you're going to start receiving a lot of downloads, like divine messages from spirit. And so you're coming into this period, and it's going to help unlock that kind of karmic debt of feeling like restricted. And then also too, you have this really lucky transit that's happening this month. And this is connected to your intuition. So you have actually two placements that suggest that you have very strong intuitive gifts, but I feel like maybe you don't trust them, or maybe you kind of like put them off, or maybe you're afraid of, maybe a little bit of his fear exploring those. So, but you're coming into this time where you're going to start kind of diving into that more, being more open to the idea of the intuition and kind of letting things kind of come to you. And then also there's another event coming up for you. This is, you kind of got a sneak peek of this last year for several months. And then it's starting up again for you probably within the next 2 months. And so it's you following your passion or taking on a hobby that brings you a lot of joy. And I actually kind of believe or think that it might be something in the metaphysical. So if there's any kind of divination that you've thought of exploring, now would be the most ideal time. And I feel like it's going to heal you, also unlock that karmic placement of feeling kind of like suppressed or kind of shackled in a way.
Right. That's really wonderful. I want to give you quick feedback before I forget. First of all, I wanted to say, how do I pay off this karmic debt. I'm done. But when you said stop taking care of people, I've actually started that probably maybe almost a year. And I'm learning bit by bit and really pulling back. And also, you made me realize I've always been comfortable in using my intuition and being open to animals. And I've rescued hounds for 37 years, but I lost mine 2 years ago. And then I had surgery, so I was laid up for 4 months. And I can't rescue a dog in the summer, and all these reasons why I don't have a dog. And I really miss that, looking to them to hear what they have to say, because they blow me away. So that's what I've experienced. Anything else, not so much, except experiences here and there that have come to me.
You're going to start having a lot of experiences connected to divine messages. So those angel numbers repeating, also coincidences, a lot of coincidences, things that you didn't even expect. So especially if you get any opportunity to travel, there's going to be a lot of I'm going to call it a karmic blessing that's going to come from any kind of travel. If it's long distance travel, especially if it's anything connected with a foreign country, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but maybe it's like a cruise where you visit like several different, areas and destinations.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's lovely.
All right. So by default,
Save the best for last.
oh,
That's for
thank
that.
you. What a lovely thing to say. Love you guys. I'll pay you later. Okay.
I've been waiting for that check for like a year.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to concentrate on you here. And one of the things that I want to tell you, and the biggest overwhelming vibe that I get with you, is that it's really important that you trust your own process, that you trust that the little girl in you that was basically taken away from you at a very young age. You have every right now to be that little girl again. So I'm going to draw the cards for you. Oh, you have my favorite card. Oh my God. Okay. So I have to tell you just a little personal story. I mean, only take a second. When I was looking for a new deck of cards to work with, I actually went to this little psychic shop here in Vegas, and I was going to get another classic Rider-Waite deck. That's what I was going to get, because that's what I grew up on. That's what I learned to read on. Well, the gal in the store goes, well, we just got this deck in. You might like it. So I'm looking through this deck, and I'm looking through, and I get to this card, which is a card called Trust. And I don't know if I can give you a closer look to it, but it shows a little girl flying in the air.
Oh, yeah.
That she's leaping toward what she wants. And she knows that she's going to have a soft landing when she leaps, right? But the key word on that card is trust. All right. So what it's saying is that if you go to that youthful, childlike little girl vibe, the one that is open and ready to receive, you're going to land in a soft place. All right. You have a lot of crap that you're carrying around in your head. All right.
Yes.
So you have this card called Clinging to the Past. Now, in traditional tarot, this is called the Five of Cups. Okay. And the Five of Cups shows somebody mourning over the cups that are spilled, right, but not turning around to see that there are still 2 cups full. So they're looking at the 3 cups that have spilled. They're not looking at the 2 cups that are still full. I like the way it's depicted in this deck, because what it literally means is this person is this beautiful, huge champagne glass of bubbles behind them, but they're so concentrating on all the crap that happened in their life that they won't just drop the crap and turn around and see the champagne glass of bubbles. So that opens this 5-card spread that it's time for you to dump the past and look at the champagne glass of bubbles, and then take this big leap into the things that bring you joy. So the happiest card in the deck is this card called Innocence. And I'm going to tell you the traditional meaning of this card. It's a card called the Sun in traditional tarot. Happiest card in the deck. It's the card of happy marriage, happy relationships, happy purpose, right? Yeah. And so the prayer I would offer you is, dear Spirit, thank you for the blessings in my life. I pray to be guided to peace, purpose, and prosperity. Thank you for your loving help. Amen. I love the idea of you fostering animals. I love that. Even if you just went to your local SPCA and pet the puppies and kittens,
Yeah.
you're not only will you meet other people that have that kind of a big heart because they're there because that no other place do you get unconditional love like when you're petting puppies and kittens. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So what happens is that you meet other people that are looking to give love, but also get the reward of what an animal can give back to you so transparently, so easily, so authentically, so real, all right? Because there's a deep letting go of all the crap that you've had to deal with, which is this card right here. And then you bloom into your potential, which has been your whole purpose all along. So you've waited 71 years to
Yeah.
experience this feeling of joy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is start accepting it.
Okay.
All you have to do is put yourself in a place that makes you feel good. That's where it starts. I don't care if that first place that feels good is eating a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I don't care. Whatever makes you feel good, you need to be in the habit of being drawn to the things that make you feel good because you're rewarded with them.
Yeah.
There was a gal that I spoke with earlier, one of the earlier episodes, and one of the things I advised her to do, which was super easy to do, is before going to bed, you put a couple cups of Epsom salt in a bath, you soak in the bath for about 10 minutes, and you imagine that any negativity, and in your case, any burdens or barriers that are holding you back are being leached from your spirit and into the water because of the salt, the Epsom salt. Then you stand up in the tub, you let the water out while you're drying yourself off, and you imagine that all that's being sucked out of you and down the drain. And then you go to bed and you open your mind to the idea that the intuitive information that's supposed to be destined specifically for you will come to you. Now, I have to tell you a little personal story. I do not call myself a medium, right? Because I don't think that you can call, Aunt Amy from the other side at your demand. I just don't think you could do that. If Aunt Amy wants to come through, Aunt Amy's going to come through, but
Right.
it may not be facilitated by somebody who calls themselves a medium. So I don't call myself a medium. I don't even advertise anywhere out there that I do that. However, I had a personal experience happen with me. So I had a very, very dear friend pass, right? And I'm sitting in one of my favorite recliners. I've got don't tell the rest of my cats. I've got my favorite cat on my lap and I'm petting this cat, right? And this cat's purring and I say my friend's name out loud, kind of as a sigh. I just said it out loud. And as though he was right here, he said, "Why, hello, Mona." Just like he was right there. And it startled me because it was so clear. It was as if he was right there saying it in my ear. Now, if I were to bring that up to Tammie goes, "Well, all you have to do is allow it." All you have to do is just be open to it and it'll happen more, right? Well, I do not believe that that's why I'm here. I believe that the reason I do what I do is to show people the picture of their moment and the possibilities of what can happen from this moment. And for you, it all boils down to trusting the fact that the universe wants for you what you want for you. And it all starts with you basically thanking your lucky stars that you're here at 71 years old and recognizing that your life can be happier at this point. And it doesn't have to be, doing a jigsaw puzzle or doing anything. You just have to make the decision that that's how you want to live your life moving forward, is in this sense of joy. So, and I know Tammie wants to say something.
I do, because now I have permission to say something.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you it's a little speck of sand on a beach?
Yes.
Well, you're going to laugh when I tell you I'm going to give you a gift because I've been told that I could. It's important for you to go back in your own mind and figure out at what age you convinced yourself that what people were doing was because of you, because it wasn't. And where you took responsibility for other people's choices and behaviors, which were yours to take. And as soon as you can do that, And you can tell yourself at that age, it's not my fault that they're making the choices and doing the behaviors that they're doing. You will free yourself. I promise you that, but don't believe me.
Oh, I do. And that's really interesting. Do you think that coincides with when at age 4 or whatever, I became agoraphobic and afraid for the rest of my life?
Could be.
Okay.
But at some point, you took on the notion that what people were doing and decisions that they were making around you were because of you somehow, but they weren't. It's because of them. And
Yeah.
and forgive yourself.
Right. Right. Wow. It's I never would have dreamt that this would be so wonderful and so rich and amazing for me. It's such a gift from all of you.
It's exactly as you chose it to be. That's
Thank
the way life goes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm. It was a
Do
pleasure.
you want to say anything?
Oh, so the 25th of this month, I want you to circle it on your calendar, and then give or take a couple days, there's gonna be this experience that is connected to like the little surprises and the little coincidences and stuff. So I actually feel like maybe you'll have a dream or something, because you have that dream placement that is strongly tied to that in a very beautiful aspect. But we have a new moon coming up, and where it falls in your chart, I think you're going to be very delighted about how it brings a new kind of awareness.
Wonderful.
Very lucky new moon.
Thank
And
you.
Something just occurred to me, and it just came out of the blue, and I don't think I've ever said this to anyone before, so I'm getting it specifically for you, Pat. I want you to think about the people in your life that have loved you without expectation, okay? And you might want to sit down and say, thank you for loving me for me.
Yeah.
Thank just say it out loud. Thank you for loving me for me. Because there have been people that have been very special to you throughout your life, that have just loved you for you, like loving a puppy or a kitten, because we love them. Most people love them just because they're puppies and kittens.
Right.
Well, there have been people in your life that have treasured you that way, and I just want you to thank them. And you don't have to call them and say thank you for loving me. Just thank the universe, that you know that the universe is going to give that message to them. It doesn't matter if they're still here or
Right.
if they're past. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
All
This
right.
is beyond words. I can't thank you all enough. This was just a beautiful experience, and you're all so skilled. I'm very grateful and very fortunate.
Pat, thank you for being a guest on our program, and
Thank you so
thank you
much.
for being so transparent with us and
Grateful.
allowing us.
Grateful and thankful.
Yes.
Appreciative
Pat.
for you too.
Wow, you guys.
Why do you dump them off so quick?
Because you say goodbye.
No,
geez.
she was talking and then you
Well,
just
then
dump
let her
them.
talk.
Yeah.
All right.
What were you saying?
Oh, I don't know. It's just still full of thanks. I'll give you a plug on this. I did it on was it one of your radio shows, and I left you a message. My dice thing is now taken off my phone. You said keep your old phone.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You guys.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Oh I have to tell you. So
I just want to say buy Mona's book.
yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So you guys, in 2014, I launched an app off of my book called Dice Wisdom, and I spent a lot of money to make this app happen. All right. And it was a beautiful app on your phone. You could actually ask a question, tap the dice, you got the answer to the question. It was super organic. It was really lovely. It never made enough to pay for the initial investment that I had to put in to do the app. Well, I still thought that it could still be out there even on your old phone. But when I couldn't afford to go to the higher iOS system, basically both Google and Apple said that you couldn't get it anymore. So you can't even You can't even update it with the new phone anymore. And I'm so sorry. I'm glad it only cost $1.99.
No,
But yes, you can get the book on Amazon, Dice Wisdom, and then just do it the old fashioned way where you roll the dice and you look up the answer in the book. It's the same thing. Maybe it's a little bit more participatory, so maybe it's better, right? But thank you for bringing that up because unfortunately it's not an app anymore. Because
well, I'm so glad that the book is there. I bought two. And
oh, thank you. Oh my God.
I have to say, I don't know, I want to ask you, did you channel this or whatever? It's really not my business to ask you, but it just, every time I read it, even if it wasn't answering my question, it really was, because I was being taught something absolutely profound. Every reading that you have in there is so wise. It's so above most wisdom things. I don't know how to describe it, but it just blows me away.
Well, to answer your question, I did wake up with the whole inspiration for that book. So I went to bed one night, not even thinking about it, woke up with the inspiration to write the book. I actually wrote that book within a couple of months and published it. So it was one of those that just flowed. So that's very intuitive on your part to pick that up. So Pat, thank you so much. Thank you for being on the program. We loved having you.
Thank you.
And much. Please keep us updated, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you all.
John. All right, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to tune into episode 12 of season 3 of Vegas. I want to thank Tammie Roitman, our intuitive clinical hypnotherapist, and Kris Gray, our master astrologer. And of course, I love being a part of this and helping make all of this happen. John Stiles, without you, we're nothing. Thank you.
Well, I'm something without you, John.
I know.
Obviously, Mona's not, but I am.
I know. Tales from the dork side. Okay. Thank you, John, for allowing us to have this platform to broadcast on WWDBTV. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to WWDBTV so that this and other programs can actually be brought to you, because there's such a plethora of amazing programs on WWDBTV. Also, please follow THREE.Vegas on Instagram. That's where we post some of our episodes for 3. And you can also contact us through the Instagram page, as well as on our website, www.three.vegas. Thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, be well.
The cast members of 3 are not professional attorneys, CPAs, psychologists, marriage counselors, physicians, or financial advisors. You are provided with opinions that are unique to each of the intuitive performers. 3 is presented to you for your entertainment.